Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This is part 2 of the San Bernardino mass shooting video. Okay, so the male was called Saeed. Okay, so the male was called Saeed Rizwan Farouk. So it says Dies or Saeed is the first name, the wordplay there. Rizwan is Rise Swan wordplay, and Rise Wayne, and Farouk it has to do with AF Alpha, FUCK, Rook, the rook from the chessboard, which goes back to the castle, which they made clear to me over time refers to the castle in the movie The Labyrinth, where David Bowie, right? His last name is a play on words for we, Ebo, and Jesus, Jesus, and Horus has Horus with the H is the fence. Okay, there's some other wordplay there, but let's keep this simple so people know that it's very straightforward. Now the female's name is Tashfeen Malik, which is a play on words for T has Feen and has feet, and Malik is lame key and male key. So keep in mind that in the wordplay you have, basically it's like the Bible where you can interpret it correctly or you can interpret it wrong. They're basically saying you must obey God through me and time is running short, what have you. But mixed in there is a bunch of gays making unreasonable demands. And we know that I'm right for many reasons. Before I was born, they were massacring people, World War I, World War II, you name it. Native American genocide. Basically everyone who dies these days is doing what they say to some degree. So we know that they don't stop killing people if you do what they say. Just like the devil in popular culture, they kill more people if you do what they say. And when they change the sound of my voice, it's because they're immature and they're playing their homosexual satanic role. I'm not gay. I'll never be gay. I just brushed my teeth a little while ago, and in no time flat, there's a bunch of stuff drying up my mouth, from the fumes in the air. So let me make this brief here. Also, the victims from the shooting went to Arrowhead Medical Center. Arrowhead. So you have the Skywalker, right? Has feet. Arrowhead, right? Horus depicted with a bow and arrow. It's depicted also with a mace. Okay. So you see various weapons associated with Horus, who's, the son of God, a god of war, a god of justice-based romance, what have you. Okay, the Skywalker, the Avenger, the Golden Horse, Horus the Great One. And so you have various martial art weapons associated with him, and also the bow and arrow, because as the later dynasties came, they weren't that good at martial arts, so they emphasize archery, like the Greeks with Artemis and the Greeks and the Romans, Artemis and Diana and Apollo. So a huge part of the game is these people rape kids, and I have another video coming soon about some kind of Christian camp where thousands of children were said to be raped, and it's still open. It has to do with, it's like Kin Alpha Cook or Can Alpha Cook camp, and there's some wordplay there, and Hush Blackwell was there. It says in the annotation, Hush Blackwell twice. And Blackwell was their law firm or something that tried to protect them. We'll get to that in the next video. But here, what's key in this is that these are the types of people that rape children and tell them that no one's going to like them because they're dirty, how their friends won't understand, to try to keep them from speaking on it. And also to try to make it so rich, white people who try to look cleaner than everyone else, so they try to make them look more appealing. And obviously they get their feelings hurt when I point that out, okay? And so you have a bunch of gay people saying, who does that, and stuff like this. You have a bunch of rich people saying, you're poor, no one's heard of you, and stuff like this. And they hire people to say that and to do that stuff, right? So I urge you all to understand, when they try to play out targeted individuals by doing messed up things to them, remember these are very filthy people. A lot of them have very disgusting forms of sex. I'll let you figure that out on your own, why that is. And the people aligned to them. Only a very sick person disowns their child because some governing class worms raped them. Only a very sick person would rather choose the rapist than the rape victim. Okay? Only a sick person would date these people who are sexually harassing me all the time, and then in turn would shun me when I'm the son of God. Okay? So we see that blaming the victim in various ways in its true form is a problem. And you get these people who hang out with these people, they drink with these people and get raped by them, right? And so to some degree, they should have used their head. The rapist should still be prosecuted, but the victim should have used their head. and they try to superimpose. They try to say, hey, don't blame that victim. Okay? Blame people according to where they deserve to be blamed. If you're hanging out with scum and shunning Jesus and something bad happens to you, okay, what the hell, right? The person who did it was a bad person? Yeah. But you're also a fucking idiot, and that needs to be understood. Another thing I want to bring up quickly here, and they need to repent and be smart. It's one thing to be an idiot at that point. It's another thing to throw a fit the rest of your life and stay an idiot. That's stupid. It's okay to fall down within reason, as long as you get back up and dust yourself off and obey God. And I don't mean it's okay to purposely sell your soul or something. But if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, right? And that's why the word has mistake is mistake. Do not take the devil or his followers' offer. Stop having sex with those people. Now, when it comes to the person who came to visit me, I can't stress this enough. The person was a gang stalker, I'm sure, but they weren't very much in the know in terms of what's going on. They weren't behind the Highland Park shooting. They weren't in Al-Qaeda. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the screen right here. So there was a shooting in a mall in San Jose, and you had a bunch of very suspicious Muslim-looking people who probably are just in a Western cult, but they're trying to create a certain, they're trying to make things seem a certain way, like, the Code of Silence documentary, right? The Blue Code of Silence, the police, when they try to make things seem a certain way. The CIA, the FBI, various cults, Freemasons, they do the same thing. And they've been caught time and time again. If you need evidence of Freemasons doing it, well, look at how many police officers are Freemasons, okay? And how often do Freemasonic police officers uphold the Code of Silence? So there you go. So you see that they try to make it so that she seems like a terrorist. And they even try to make it so I seem like that when I'm not a Muslim, okay? I have no criminal record. I'm not in a cult. They are. They're the ones murdering people. They own the media, not me. They're the ones who have the means, motive, and ability to do all the wordplay and so on and so forth. They're terrorists. Okay, what are the odds that the news just happened to choose somebody from the city I'm from, I was born in San Jose, whose name was like Al-Qaeda or something like this? What are the odds? Okay, and everyone knows the CIA and them, they funded, and they backed bin Laden at various points. They know that they backed al-Nusra Front or one of these terrorist groups. I think it was against ISIS or against, Assad or something. This stuff is on record. Okay, they are terrorists. They collaborate with terrorists. And I've written the Justice Department. Okay, would somebody who's a terrorist show you a letter that he wrote to the Justice Department and their response? Okay, no. When I put that out on the internet, hey, I wrote the Justice Department and the police officers and so on and so forth. They're not responding to me. Obviously, they're the terrorists.